Hello, I'm Hunter Schultz, and this is Winning Healthcare Food Fights Without the Mess. My guest today is Dr. Yolanda Caudill. She's a pediatrician in Savannah, Georgia. She's left the old antiquated system, and she started the Tiny Beet. You'll hear more about her journey and why she switched to direct primary care, starting right now. Welcome to the show, Dr. Yolanda Caudill.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So you've just started the Tiny Beet in Savannah, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about the backstory there. First of all, the name is great. I commend you on that. How did the name come about?
Well, the name was not my idea. I could have put Dr. Caudill's office, but my kids had other thoughts. Mom, that's not catchy. That's not fun. You're a pediatrician. You want to make it fun. So we wanted to play words with tiny, that something little that regarded to pediatrics and something that had to do with lifestyle medicine. So, the beet is a wonderful, magnificent vegetable that has full of nutrients. So, and it has many colors. In addition, it has the beet. You can play with the word beet. So one of my kids' friend, we were playing with that, and they came with the Little Beet. But the Little Beet is a restaurant in New York or something like that. So we didn't want to use this, so we end up going with the Tiny Beet.
What drove the switch to going direct?
I think it was a combination of factors. Things that happen at the right time. I could not have envisioned doing this earlier in my career, going solo by no stretch of imagination. I went into medicine because I wanted to do medicine, not to do administrative work. So the idea of working on my own was never under my radar. But three things I think it took place. I was very frustrated with the way I was practicing medicine. I was staying up sometimes till midnight, many times till midnight, filling out paperwork, doing the charting the way it had to be. And while that was happening in my house, in my office, I was not being very efficient either. Patients had to wait for me a long time. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, because if I wanted to stay more time with the family, that means somebody was waiting a couple hours for me. So nobody was happy. My patients weren't happy. My family wasn't happy. And certainly I wasn't very happy. So I realized that I had to do something to switch that balance, to make it more fair. On the other hand, I was really frustrated with the way things are going with childhood obesity. I felt that I was not making a dent in those families, in those children, to make it better. So I was looking for solutions for that. And that led me to a conference in Boston by Institute of Lifestyle Medicine and the CHEF program. That opened my eyes. And then when I realized that this was a solution, like, oh my gosh, here are the tools. But I started to apply the tools for myself. I lost 30 pounds in the process, learning how to eat better. But those same tools that I was learning for myself, I realized that I could use them for my patients. I then became board certified. And the last piece of the thing is I wanted to do this together. How do I do this together? And that's when DPC comes in. And then looking for that process, how am I going to integrate lifestyle medicine and pediatrics? How can I marry those two? And the first thought is, well, I can do fee for service. This is the only way I knew it. I didn't know any other way of doing that. But then I realized this is not necessarily what I can. I mean, this is going to take me back to what I was doing. Whether I do it with myself or I work with somebody, is still the same. I realized when I started doing the numbers, okay, if I want to accept insurance, I need to have a certain number of staff to deal with that process. And to do that, I need to see a certain number of patients to pay that staff. And if I need to have that certain number of patients, I need to have a certain amount of big size of office. And that was a big overhead. So I said, no, I'm 58 years old. I can't be doing alone for that amount of money to be back to where I'm starting to begin with. So God put an angel in my in my process right when I was doing those numbers. And she said, you know that there is a pediatrician that is doing, she had no idea what it was, but it's different. And she told me, and I started looking into that, and I got into more investigation. I became familiar with a doctor, local doctor, Dr. Erica Young, and she's been a great mentor, as well as many people in the DPC family. They're amazing. So I started seeing that there is a possibility. So the way I see it, DPC it's like the foundation. It allows me to house the lifestyle medicine and the pediatrics that I love under the same roof. So that's how I end up with DPC. I went into medicine because I love to talk and I love science. And that's how I married those two. How could I find a profession where I can speak, I can get to talk to people, and at the same time use science, which I think is fantastic. I'm a nerd and I love science. So the way I married that was with medicine. But then I was not doing that. I was not practicing what I went in for. I was doing stuff that it was nonsensical. It was taking me, I mean, it was not good for anybody. It wasn't helping anybody. I wasn't having time to study, to read, to be the nerd that I like to be. I wasn't dedicating the time to my patients. I wasn't dedicating time to my family or even myself. And if one thing I learned in lifestyle medicine is that you want to dedicate time to yourself, it's otherwise I couldn't be good for anyone.
But if I'm a parent and I'm watching right now, what does that mean for me? What does it mean for my kids?
When I look back to the way I was doing it, it's a huge deal. For one thing, I can spend with that family, 30 minutes easy, and not having to think, oh my gosh, I have 2 people, 3 people waiting for me to get out of this room. And when I'm listening to one of the things about lifestyle medicine, you want to get to the root cause of the problem. So to get to the root cause, it takes time. So how am I going to know that this kid's anxiety or the constipation, what is it that is triggering that? How am I going to be able to find not only what it causes, let's find that we found what causes it. Let's talk about how we solve that problem that fits your situation, because everybody's different. So I'm going to have time to get to the bottom line of those problems. In addition, they don't have to wait in the waiting room for an hour or 2 hours, so they can come, be at the visit promptly, and then leave. And I don't have to see them in the office, because if I don't see you in the office, I won't be able to collect money from the insurance. You can text me a question that you might have for Google. You text me, don't text Google. You text me directly. And in addition to that, let me see that rash in a picture. I don't have to see you in the office unless we both want that to happen. In many regards, and this is a question that I've been asked, but you're going to spend a lot of time with the patients on the phone or telemedicine. I'd rather spend the time helping a family than doing nonsensical work in a computer that it makes absolutely nonsense.
Dr. Yolanda Caudill.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining me. It's been a true pleasure.
Thank you.
For Winning Healthcare Food Fights, I'm Hunter Schultz. Stay healthy, wash your hands a lot, and there you are.